Hello, my friends. My name is Sabrina. Welcome to my channel. This is Tree of Life Inner Guidance. If you stop by here on purpose or by accident, either way, that's fantastic. I hope you enjoy this channel and you'll consider subscribing and commenting and liking and all that other stuff. I am new to YouTube. I am not new to giving these talks. I've been giving them on Facebook Live for not quite a year. I started last November. Funny how lots of things started last November, 2024. Anyway, today is Saturday, Labor Day weekend. It's about 12:45 in the afternoon, and I am gloriously here still in my pajamas that are covered with mimosas and Bloody Marys and things, which I think are great. But I did put my lipstick on for you. So a little bit about me. I did post a short video telling you a little bit more about my background, but very quickly, I have a degree in nutrition and wellness counseling. I've been dabbling, I guess now more seriously, with astrology, tarot, runes, all sorts of things like that for unbelievably well over 30 years. That's a long time. But anyway, I started these talks to kind of help people and the collective cope with what is going on in our crazy ass world today. All these talks are for entertainment purposes only. I may slip in a swear word or two. Sorry about that, but I like to swear. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today is we are going to talk about self-care. Now, that gives a whole list of connotations that, people think that they have to go out and have a $200 massage or go on a spa weekend for self-care. But I am going to be your living example of self-care today because it's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, on a holiday weekend, and I am still in my pajamas and furry slippers. And I am delighted. Now, for me, this is self-care. Laying in bed until, 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning with my furry friends, to me, is self-care because 90% of the time I have to get out of bed, I have to have the face on, and I have to be the motivating force all day long. 10, 11, 12 hours a day. Not every day for me anymore. It used to be 5 days a week, and then I'd work on the weekends. That was insane. That was not self-care. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about taking better care of yourself. And one of my friends posted something the other day that said, self-care isn't saying I'm doing nothing. It's saying that I'm reading a book. I'm cooking a really nice meal. I'm lounging around with my furry friends and I'm not worried about work. It took a very long time for me to finally stop answering work messages on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because I'm self-employed. And when you're self-employed, you're on duty 24/7. And that is not any fun, and you never get a break. And then that's how you end up hating your job and your life and everything else. So I tend to not answer work emails on the weekends or work text messages, and I get tons of them. And I'm sorry if you hear a meowing animal in the background. I am actually right behind me is a full-blown Pilates studio. So I have a screen up so my cats can't get in here. And I have one that has to be with me. He is like my shadow, and his name is Bims. And so if you hear someone whining, that's him because he hears me talking and he wants to be in here with me. Anyway, back to self-care. Little tidbits of self-care that you don't really consider self-care, like not answering work messages on the weekends. I mean, come on. We need a little bit of break from the madness. And another thing for self-care is don't watch the news. Just don't do it. It's crazy. So Some other things about self-care for me at night when I'm done working my 10, 11, 12 hours, I go out and walk between 4 and 5 miles, probably 5 days a week, because I want to be outside. I want the fresh air. Yes, I have my phone on me, but I have it on me just in case I fall down and break my neck, and your iPhone will call 911 for you. I don't know if you know that. That's another thing for self-care. If you have an iPhone or an Apple Watch, go on to Google. It'll show you how to program your iPhone and your Apple Watch for emergencies in case something crazy does happen. If you're in an accident and all that jarring around with the phone, I guess sends a message that there might have been a crash. So that's another thing for self-care. You're taking care of yourself in case of emergencies. So I drew some cards here to back up this whole self-care thing. And of course, they did not disappoint. And today I have a brand new deck, and I'm going to do that last. I'm actually I'm cleansing the deck right now, and I'm going to clear it and shuffle it and cut it in front of you, which I normally don't do that. And let me tell you why. Not that I'm handpicking the cards for the show. What I'm doing is my hands are super small. So sometimes shuffling is really hard for me, and I can't hold the cards very well. And then they go flying all over the place, and that's different than jumper cards when they come out of the deck. So I typically will not be shuffling and doing that live when I'm giving these talks. But anyway, this is an oracle deck that a friend of mine made, and she sent it to me, and I just got it 2 days ago, and I'm excited for her. Anyway, the decks I'm going to use and elaborate on, first of all, is Cheryl Richardson's self-care cards. I have had this deck since it came out in 2001, so almost 25 years ago. And when I took my Pilates training, believe it or not, at the end of our training, there was 3 levels, just hundreds of hours, and it is so much work if you do it right. That's a whole nother topic. We would always draw a self-care card at the end of our sessions. So I have them, and I've been using them, obviously. And then another deck I'm going to talk about is Louise Hay, How to Love Yourself cards. Louise Hay has been a part of my existence for at least 20 years, probably longer, more like 25 years ago, when her book came out, You Can Heal Your Life. Fantastic book. I highly recommend it. It changed my life. So that's You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. If I had a copy here, I'd show it to you, but I think it's in Arizona and I'm in New Mexico. It's a confusing life, not complaining. And then, of course, in true Sabrina style, I have to have a fun deck. So I am going to draw a couple of cards from the Inner Peace deck. And this is a little fun deck I found. So anyway, the cards never disappoint. And, you know, we all jokingly say the cards don't lie, and they don't. Sometimes your interpretation can be off. And, you know, when you're doing cards, I find it can be a little challenging to not flavor the cards with your own thoughts or bends to one direction or another. But the cards usually don't lie. So from our self-care cards, I drew 2. The very first one out, relaxation. Okay. Now I have a friend, and I've been friends with her for 40 years, almost, maybe 35. And she's way better at relaxing than I am. She's a Pisces, and she has Moon and Venus in Taurus, and she's Cancer rising. She knows how to relax. Just, you know, put her feet up and read a book or something. I have so many planets in Capricorn. If I am not doing something work-oriented, 95% of the time, I almost feel guilty. So this talk is as much for me as it is for you. So relaxation, first card out. Allow yourself to be lazy. It's okay to do nothing. Well, if you're relaxing, you're not really doing nothing, are you? You're relaxing, and that's okay. Next out of the deck, time. Now, we're all running out of time, but that doesn't mean we can't take time for ourselves. Schedule a sacred date with yourself to stay in your pajamas until 6 p.m. and then put clean ones on to go to bed. You deserve time for your life. So make time to relax. And then I was only going to do 2 cards from this deck, but then the next one on top I have to show you is rest. So rest and relax. Release guilt and make your needs a top priority. Now, we are going to talk a little bit about that. If you don't put yourself first, now what I mean by first is you have to take care of you, because if you have that caretaker built-in personality, you're going to take care of everyone else first. And then what's going to happen when you break down? Who's going to take care of you? So you got to take care of yourself. And somebody gave a talk, and this was a fantastic example of put your own oxygen mask on first. They say that in the airplanes all the time. If the oxygen mask drops down, put it on yourself first, then put it on your child or whoever you're traveling with, and maybe an elderly parent or whatever. So you do have to look out for you so you can look out for others. So when you put these 3 cards together, I think it's fabulous. So you just look at that, and it's time for relaxation and rest. And if you don't take these rests now in this crazy climate that we are going through, you're going to break down and you're not going to be any good for anybody else. Next deck, how to love yourself. I am centered in truth and peace. The universe is one of great order and peacefulness, and I reflect this in every moment of my life. Now, I'm not the most peaceful person there is, and I will readily admit that, but I do try. And what I'm really working on for myself, and hopefully we can all work on this together, is because I am a fire sign, even though I have all that Capricorn. I am a fire sign. I am a hothead. My immediate reaction is to overreact. So I am working on skipping that reactive stage and going directly into proactive stage. So I am trying to bring myself more peace and relaxation by saying, you know what, all these crazy things that I think are going to happen, they usually don't happen, and you just get yourself all crazy for no good reason. Okay? I open myself to all good. I receive life's gifts with joy and pleasure and gratitude. Gratitude goes a very long way. I think the more grateful you are for things in your life, the better your life will be. I've always thought that. And I try to give thanks just for crazy things. Like I get out of bed and I look out and like the sun's out. It's a beautiful day. And it is beautiful here this time of year in New Mexico. So my last 2 cards from the inner effing peace deck are hysterical, and I love it. So here you go. Let the crazy ass shit go. And I do agree wholeheartedly with this, because right now, if you get caught up in all the crazy ass shit that's going on in the world today, you are not going to do well. And the backside of this card says, the path to inner peace begins with 4 words. Not my effing problem. So I'll hold that up there for you. So some of this is our problem, and we can do things to help with what's going on right now in the world today. But if you can't really do anything, you getting all crazy and adding to the collective chaos that's going on right now is not going to help you at all. And the last one on here that says, cultivate your inner booty, not BOOTY, not that booty. as in Buddha. And this says, have a Buddhaful day. So that's pretty cute, I think. So now I'm going to introduce to you my friend's Beautiful deck. And I'm going to show you this beautiful selenite orb that I got a few days ago. How big that is. And you can kind of see through it. It's kind of like this little mini crystal ball. So to clear decks, I put a crystal on top. I'm going to show you her deck. And her name is Pamela. And as I said, if you're interested in this deck, put a message in the comments and give me your email address if you're comfortable with that, or say that you're interested and we'll figure out a way to get in touch. So this is the outer part of the deck. This is one of her paintings. So isn't that really cool? And the name of the painting is Holy Openness. So this is what covers the deck. And then I'm going to clear the deck right now. So I'm going to wake it up a few times, and then I am going to shuffle, and then I'll pick a card from here. We'll see. Oh, these shuffle nice. I love it. I can do this right in front of you. Yay. Without feeling like a fool. So how do I clear decks? I'll just let you know. So I get the deck out of the box. I set it there. I put a crystal on top. And then I love Palo Santo. So I burn Palo Santo stick around the decks, and then I'll often just spread the deck out and spread the Palo Santo smoke right on top of the deck. Well, not on it, actually, the smoke will go around it, and then I do the room. So, getting ready for these little broadcasts, it takes a little time. You got to pick out the decks. I don't know how many decks are sitting here behind me, too many, and I'm sure I'll order more. And then you have to bless everything and ask, your angels and spirit guides and everyone from the truth and compassion and light come and bless this little talk and these cards for the highest good. So I shuffle, I suppose poker style is what it's called, and then shuffle with the hands that way. And I cut the deck 3 times, and I usually draw 1 card from the bottom and then just 1 card from the top today. So this is called the Elegant Wisdom Oracle. Okay. And Pam did all the messages from 5 generations of maternal from the female side of the family. And then here's card number 1. I have unique wisdom. A journey of insight and understanding. Unique wisdom reflects individual perspective and the transformative power of lived experience. It is a combination of intellect, intuition, and empathy, coupled with the courage to see beyond conventions and embrace the unfamiliar path. Unique wisdom is a gift to oneself and to the world. It is the result of life's moments woven together into a narrative of understanding that is distinctly our own. So there's a little bit more on there. I'll hold this card up just in case you want to take a screenshot of it. I'll keep it there for a minute. That's about as close as I can get here on Zoom. All right, good. And then we have one more from Miss Pam's deck. To love is to be fearless. Now, there is only fear in love, and a lot of people are afraid to love because there's a whole lot of vulnerability and courage that's needed to love. The courage at the heart of love. To love deeply is to expose oneself to vulnerability, to venture into the unknown, and to embrace the unlimited possibilities of joy and pain. In this sense, love is not merely a feeling, it is the bold decision to defy fear and step into the light of connection. I'll read a little more here. Love asks us to place faith in the unseen, to trust in the bonds we build, and to surrender to the journey. Love teaches us to focus on the beauty of connection, growth, and shared joy. Each act of love becomes a small triumph over fear, a reminder that living fully requires embracing what scares us. Self-love, since we're talking about self-care. Self-love is the foundation of fearlessness, a source of inner strength that allows us to give freely without losing ourselves. That's why I said, take care of yourself first, then you can take care of others. You are no less of a person. You are not selfish by taking care of you. When we value and accept ourselves, we become resilient, capable of weathering the storms that may come with loving others. To love is to be fearless. So I'll hold this card up here too, just in case you want to take a screenshot of that. Hopefully I'm steady enough here. I've only had 3 cups of coffee. All right, there you go. So that is from the Elegant Wisdom Oracle, made by my friend Pamela. So I'm just going to do a little recap of all of this. So I think that it's really important that during these crazy times, we look after ourselves. I have one client in particular that when I see her, I'll say, how you doing? And I can often tell by, oh, I'm okay. And I'm like, were you watching the news again? Yes, Sabrina, I was watching the news. Stop that. Now, I'm not saying that you should be uninformed about what's going on in the world, but if you sit back and, there's not a lot of good news out there. This is why I'm trying to come on here and talk about good things and ways to take care of yourself, help others. Because if you look at what's going on in the news, and, I have all my channels that I watch on YouTube, and they're by and large, starting with that P word, that, the sides are both very divided right now. So that's all the politics I can handle. Oops, I said that word out loud. Sorry. Shut my mouth. But that's all I can handle of that is, I'll listen, and I have to be honest, a lot of times I just can't even finish listening to those broadcasts because it's not doing me any good. Because, as I've said before, I am a fire sign, so I can get very enraged at many things that are happening. And, a lot of the anger is righteous anger, but anger also is very hard on your body. It elicits your cortisol, it shoots your blood pressure up, the fight or flight response occurs. And if you keep yourself in that heightened fight or flight response, it starts to break down your body. It starts to break down your insides. So I am hoping also with these broadcasts, I haven't been on here for a little bit. I'm sorry. I had company here from Arizona and for 5 days and we had a blast. But I'm hoping with these little broadcasts and talks that I bring to you that it will help you get out of that fight or flight response and help you to take better care of yourself and help you to catch yourself when you're going down that rabbit hole. So that is what my hope is here. So take time for yourself, take time to rest, take time to relax, stay away from the bloody newscast podcast. Oh, dreadful. Open yourself up to all the good. Cultivate your inner booty, have a bootyful day, and let the crazy shit go. So hopefully this little talk helped you. I hope to come on here for Monday Mojo, Tuesday Morning Coffee, and Feel Good Friday. That's my mission. I might throw some other things in here and there, 2-minute tidbits. So I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, add a comment, subscribe to the channel. As I said, I'm not new to giving the talks. I'm just new on YouTube. So thank you very much for stopping by, and you have yourself a beautiful day.